fucking that Manfred guy is a dick. He's fucking changing the rules of the game. He's got cheating all over in his thing. He thinks of the trophy as just a piece of metal. He's like, I'm not gonna. Did you hear that?
Yes.
I'm not gonna try and just take away a piece of metal from these guys. These guys, the Astros are just fucked this year. How many fights do you think the Astros get in this year?
Oh, it's gonna be a mess.
You know, the people that got fucked out of the championship are going to be throwing at their heads.
Of course.
That Altuve guy is going to he's going to show up wearing bubble wrap just because he doesn't want to get hit by the pitch.
Right.
You know, I mean, you know that guy's going to get a million pitches thrown at him this year.
Right.
And balls behind him and shit. You know it. And I love it. Personally, for the first time ever, I think I'm going to be an Astros fan. I'm going to watch the Astros just because I know they'll be fighting all the time. And you know fans are going to be sitting there banging on chairs and shit, like they're giving signals and shit.
Yeah.
It's going to be a mess.
I know.
I love it. I actually am excited about that. For the first time in a while, I'm excited about something other than the Indians in baseball.
Yeah.
I am definitely excited to see the Astros just get fucked with.
Well, you know what contributes to all of this, don't you?
What?
It's just this obscene money in sports.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing is when, back when I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
Obviously athletes made a pretty good living, but they weren't like multi-millionaires then. I remember the first time that any athlete, or baseball athlete rather, Dave Parker.
Yeah.
Of the Pirates. He
name.
was the first $1 million player.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I remember that was such a big deal that they're paying Dave Parker $1 million.
Yeah.
To be the right fielder.
Mm-hmm.
And, it just ballooned from there. Now these players, whether it's baseball or football or basketball or whatever, these guys are signing contracts for 6, 8, 10 years, and they're like being paid $200 million.
Dude, for Francisco Lindor here, they're saying that he said he won't give Cleveland a hometown discount, and he's looking for 10 years, $350 million. $350 million. The fuck out of here with that. There's no player worth $350 million.
Yeah.
None.
But, again, back in the 70s when Dave Parker signed that contract, it was like $1 million.
Yeah.
And that's like chump change now.
Yeah, that's the guy on the bench now.
Yeah.
That guy on the bench probably makes $1 million too, just to sit there and play like 30 games a year.
Exactly. Hail and Kill caller, you're on the air.
Hail and Kill. Manfred makes Goodell look like a genius. This guy, he is being so soft towards the guys that cheated. It's unbelievable. The other thing that came out today, the Astros had their first preseason game in Florida or whatever, Arizona, wherever it was, and the stadium wouldn't let the fans bring in signs, saying cheaters or Astros with an asterisk and all that stuff. So now, I guarantee you, and I'm all for it, I say first batter of each Astros game, throw at their head, because Manfred's not going to do anything until the first game happens where a pitcher goes behind the guy's head, and they're going to punish the pitcher, which is absolute bullshit.
Yeah. Well, the thing that drives me crazy is Pete Rose. Pete Rose and the cheating or in the gambling it's bad. It's a bad look. It's terrible. He didn't bet on his game, but even not betting on his team, is kind of like betting that they're going to lose. I understand. Right. I understand it, but it's been 40 fucking years already. The guy didn't do it when he was a player, and he's the single greatest hitter in the history of the fucking game. And they're not letting him into the fucking Hall of Fame or any of the baseball festivities, and they pretend like he doesn't exist. But the Astros get to keep their shit. Barry Bonds is considered the home run champion. beating Babe
Mark
Ruth and Guerin and Mark McGuire and, the 65 home runs or 70 home runs or whatever it was. It's like they know certain people cheated and they hold them to one standard. Then the people that cheated before, they're not held to the same standard. It's fucking a disaster. Go ahead.
This is David from Cincinnati, so don't even get me started about Pete. I mean, he came, I don't know if you heard this, about a week and a half ago, he came out, got his lawyers together, sent a letter that said, hey guys, I've been punished enough. What these guys did is way worse than I did, and it's been 40 frickin' years. Give me a break. But the thing that's going to make every Cincinnati Reds fan mad, which I am, growing up in Cincinnati, is they're going to put him in after he's dead. And that's not fucking right.
Yeah, I agree. It's not right.
I mean, he was one of the greatest baseball players of all time. Sure, he broke the rules, but God damn it, it's been 40 years.
But he broke the rules not as a player. If you don't want to let him in as a manager, fine. Don't let him in as a manager. He never broke the rules as a player.
Right. That's what gets me about this whole thing with the Astros again. The only people to get punished were the managers.
Mm-hmm.
The players haven't got punished at all. And they can switch teams and go away, and most of them will be forgotten. But I don't know, man. I say throw it at everybody's head until Manfred does something to punish the entire club.
Yeah, he should definitely do something to the entire team. This nonsense of just firing the two managers, the Boston guy and the Astros guy, and the GM getting fired. That's nothing. That's bullshit. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about that. When you think about baseball, you don't think about the GM. No one thinks about the general manager. Nobody could probably even name the GM of the Astros that got fired.
No.
But you can certainly look at Altuve as, look at, and again, this is my baseball dorkiness coming out here, but I don't buy for one fucking second. I don't care. I know baseball is out there spinning it and it's driving me crazy. There's no way in fuck that this 160-pound Altuve all of a sudden hit 35 home runs a year and fucking hit 350. Get the fuck out of here with that. He's going to hit 240 this year. Watch. He's going to go right to shit because he's a small guy without power, and what helped him was knowing what was coming.
Did you see the one highlight they showed of whoever hitting a breaking ball off of Chapman a mile long? You tell me you can hit a home run like that off of Aroldis Chapman that throws 103 miles an hour?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
It's so lame. And the most hypocritical thing to me, about 15 years ago, I went to an Indians game at Jacobs Field.
Mm-hmm.
Never been there before. And I walked in, and the first thing I noticed for the first time was Ohio lottery banners everywhere. Okay? And I said to my friend, what the hell? Baseball's taking sponsorship money from gambling now? And now it's all over the place with DraftKings and all those other gambling sites, local casinos, all advertising the stadiums, but Pete's still fucking banned for gambling.
Yeah, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. That guy should be let in already. I mean, forget it. He's not shoeless Joe Jackson. He didn't tank a World Series, for God's sakes.
Right. And honestly, when Pete was a manager of the Reds, they weren't very good.
Yeah.
That was way after the 70 Reds. Neeley, like you said, in the 70s, it was the Pirates and the Reds fighting for it
absolutely.
In that division. And the thing is, the Reds weren't good in the 80s with Pete as a manager.
Yeah.
In the late 70s, after Dave Parker, you mentioned, left and went to the Reds, they were good again. But when Pete took over as manager, they weren't very good.
Yeah, if he was betting on the Reds, he wasn't betting a lot because fucking they lost most of their games. They were shit in the late 80s.
Yeah. Funny story, side note. I remember as a kid growing up, there was a racetrack in Cincinnati called River Downs, and it came out in the paper once. This was before he got caught. It came out in the paper once that him and a buddy hit a superfecta for like $12,000, and Pete was one of the guys, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's not surprising." Everybody in town knew he was a gambler.
Of course. Of course. I think what has hurt Pete now is that he still gambles. Like, he openly gambles, which doesn't help his cause any.
Correct. And again, he should have taken your advice, Chris, years ago. Never apologize.
Yeah.
He apologized. Guys.
Yeah, but he didn't. He apologized, and what did it do? Got him nothing. Got him fucked forever.
Yeah. I'm living it every day, dude. I don't apologize anymore. I love it.
Good. Don't apologize for shit.
You know, yeah, it stinks. You know, it really stinks. Thank you. I appreciate you letting me vent about Pete Rose because he was my childhood hero.
Well,
and I pretty much hate baseball now.
I can hear it in your voice, dude, that you and I and Chris are very much alike when it comes to our childhood sports heroes and our favorite teams. You know, obviously Chris is an Indians fan, and I love the Pirates, and you love the Reds, and it sticks with you for a lifetime. And we had our heroes, our Willie Stargels and our Pete Roses and our, Dave Parkers and our Roberto Clementis and our Johnny Benches and, all that. Those guys will live forever in our minds as the best of the best.
You know who was great, too, was Marge Schott, owner of the Reds. You remember what she called Eric Davis? Mm-mm. When they won the World Series in 1990, you don't remember what she called him?
I can't remember.
Her million dollar nigger.
I remember that she got in a lot of trouble for her language and stuff, but I didn't remember exactly what she said.
And you know what Eric's response to it was in the media? He said, "Marge can call me whatever she wants. I love her."
Yeah, he loved her in his pocketbook.
About the players, and she won a World Series.
Yeah. And she paid him well.
Yeah. But back then, I mean, God, if that would happen now, holy shit. But back in 1990, you could still get away with stuff like that, even though she got shamed like Lemmy did for Nazi memorabilia, which he collected.
Yeah.
Because she was 70-some years old when she won the World Series back in 90. The city loved her. But the national media got her kicked out of ownership because of her language and her beliefs. Stupid. Who gives a shit?
Well, she didn't apologize, though, did she?
Nope.
Yeah, she's like,
did
fuck
not
you.
At all.
So she went to her grave with her cigarette in her hand and said, "Fuck you all!"
With a piece of metal World Series trophy.
Yeah, and $1 billion.
Yeah. And you know what she did with all the money when she died? Gave it to Children's Hospital in Cincinnati.
Bitch.
Fucking cunt.
What a cunt.
Yeah. I know. Giving it to charity. What a whore. Crazy. I don't know.
I hate
Can't
her.
wait till it's over, Chris, right?
Exactly.
Alan Kill, fuck you, pal. His job.
There's one of our fans just passionate about his sports.
Yeah, he loves his Reds.
He does.